Hello there, welcome to another video from the Association of Self-Respecters. I hope the quality isn't too bad. I usually shoot these videos with a computer if I'm sitting down, but for some reason on my first laptop, the camera is malfunctioning for some reason. And on my other laptop, the camera is okay. It was a little shaky, but it's okay. But then the audio started going awry. So hopefully this cell phone video isn't too bad. But anyway, I'm going to discuss the ASR foundational rules. It's a memo that's out. It's not too long. So I'm going to read from it, and I'm going to offer some commentary between the paragraphs. If you agree with these foundational rules, and if you agree with our mission statement, because if you're on this video, you should have listened to the video or viewed the video with the mission statement, then the next step is to submit an enrollment form. So let me just go through it real quick. The ASR consists of two kinds of members: those who are forced to register as so-called quote-unquote sex offenders, and those who support a friend or family member subjected to hateful registration rules and laws. In the ASR, folks forced to register are referred to as self-respecters or SRs, and the supporters are referred to as associate members or AMs. Now, there are some very simple foundational rules and policies we need to support and follow for the ASR to be successful, and I will begin with the rules for self-respecters. Okay, so we're going to start here. Foundational self-respecter rule number 1. If you have committed the sexually based offense or offenses that has resulted in you being criminally convicted and placed on a government registry, you must firmly resolve that you will never sexually violate another person again, and that you will confine all future sexual activity to other consenting adults. If you have been convicted as a result of being falsely accused, please make the same pledge minus the word again and substitute the word another for the word any. We will never require any member to admit to any offense as a condition for membership in the ASR or for advancing therein. Now, that's these terms that's being used against you, and me for that matter. That don't mean you have to self-identify as that. Okay. Now, maybe some of you that have taken these so-called sex offender treatment classes, they may tell you something different. So it's up to you to decide who you're going to listen to, who you're going to follow. Me personally, as someone that's going to tell me, well, you're this because you did this 30 years ago, so you're always going, I wouldn't follow those people across the street. Me personally. But, you have to make your own decisions. People that expect the best from me, I will follow them to the end of the earth. But like I said, you have to make your own decision. So let's go to foundational self-respecter rule number 2. Upon agreeing to the first foundational rule, you must forthwith refrain from denigrating and dehumanizing yourself and other members by self-identifying as or calling other members degrading terms such as sex offender, low-risk sex offender, rehabilitated sex offender, RSO, non-contact pedophile, or any other such nonsense. Now, if you already agreed to the first rule, you're directly confronting that stereotype. The stereotype is we must put these people on the registry, we must restrict them because they always reoffend. So the first rule you agree to coming in is that you will never do that. You will never offend if you were falsely accused, and you will never refend if you were credibly accused. So you've established a foundation that flies directly in the face of that stereotype. So if you're going to do that, you could put it like this, you could tell a lot about a person by the things they say and do consistently, overtly, covertly, and consistently, if you know what a person does covertly. Now, it's not just what you do. People say, well, it ain't what you say, it's what you do. No, it's not what you do only. It's what you say and do. Because think about it. some of the worst crimes that ever happened in humanity, it was always talked about first. Think of the Holocaust. Hitler gave a lot of great speeches. When I say great, I mean great as far as like in front of a lot of people, not great in quality, whatever. You know, and when they had the genocide in Rwanda, labeling them, calling them cockroaches. I forgot the word that was used for cockroach, but that's what they were calling them. So people like to dehumanize you. So you don't dehumanize you. You humanize yourself, right? So what you refer to yourself is very important. Now, so let me go on. I went off. Did I went off cup here? Hope I didn't go too far off cup. So I should have did the first and second rule. So now let's go to foundational self-respect rule number 3. You shall refrain from initiating unnecessary divisions and disputes with other members, which includes pointless, your crime is worse than mine arguments and statements. Now, if you already agreed to the first 2 foundational rules, it's only logically that you have to agree with the third one. Listen, a person who's, let's say he or she was convicted of so-called statutory rape, meaning that, not pedophilia is pre-pubescent or pre-adolescent, like 6 years old and stuff like that. They've had some type of sexual contact or whatever with someone in the teenage years, right? So that person will say, well, I made a mistake they will call it a mistake. They will say, I made a mistake of messing with someone that was a little too young for me, whatever. That person wasn't able to consent legally, but at least I didn't rape anybody. I didn't force anybody like that. I didn't put any force. I didn't pull no gun or no knife on nobody. Then the person who was convicted of sexual assault, let's say on a grown person, that person will say, well, I did what I did, whatever, and I paid my price, whatever, like that. But at least I don't mess with no kids. I don't care about no kids. So this person will look down on this person will look down on this person. Then the person with, let's say he's convicted of child pornography, he would say, well, all I have is a computer crime. I didn't actually touch anybody. I didn't do anything to anybody. So they can't work together because one is looking down on the other. All of you are on the registry. And if you're thinking about joining this group, well, it's not a real organization, right? It's like a group. Most of you would probably be on the public registry. So the ones with, as far as like committing acts of pedophilia, they may get a little more hate than the other ones, but you're all going to get hate and you're all going to get discriminated against. So if you think about the mission of the ASR is to abolish the registry. That means none of you will be on it. So stop with this nonsense, or at least don't bring it in here, where I shouldn't be on there because I only did this. But when you're saying that, you're indirectly saying this other person should be on there. Think about it. You may not be saying it, but you're indirectly saying that. So that leads to the 4th foundational self-respect rule. You shall conduct yourself in a reasonably respectful manner and honor all non-abusive agreements and contracts with other members and non-enemies. And if you're calling yourself or other members sex offender or stuff like that, and you're saying, well, this person is worse than me and all this kind of stuff, you're violating that rule right there. Okay, now let me go on to the basic foundational rules for our esteemed associate members, and they are as follows. It's only 3 of them. 1, foundational associate member rule number 1. You shall refrain from referring to any ASR member as a sex offender, low-risk sex offender, or any other insult mentioned or not mentioned in foundational self-respect rule number 2. So that means your people that support you, they can't come in using this language either. If they were going to be here. So that segues nicely into foundational associate member rule number 2. You shall refrain from initiating unnecessary divisions and disputes with other members, which includes the assertion that the person you are supporting shouldn't be subjected to the registry, but others should. Even though you may not say others should, but you're indirectly saying that. In this situation, the person that usually showed the strongest report, usually your mother, sometimes your wife, but in most cases be the person's mother. So if you have, if your son, let's just say I'm talking to a mother, if your son is in there for, let's say, child pornography, or let's say he's on the registry, and the registry is causing him to not be able to re-enter into society. You're saying, well, he didn't touch anybody, he just downloaded some images, he made a mistake, whatever like that, so he shouldn't be. And then the other person is saying, well, my son, he got drunk and went too far with a woman, whatever like that, but he don't mess with no kids, So you two can't work together because you're, even though you're not saying it, you're indirectly saying it. Sometimes people's subconscious mind picks up on something that their conscious mind didn't pick up on. So by you saying my son didn't do this, didn't do that, it's indirectly picked up in the subconscious mind of the other person. My son actually did that, so you're saying that my son should be on there and your son shouldn't. So think about the mission statement. Abolish the registry, then none of your sons will be on there. None of your brothers, none of your fathers, your uncles, baby daddies, or sisters or brothers, whatever, right? So we just stop with this unnecessary nonsense. And the last one. Did I read number 2? I think I did, but I went off on a tangent. Let me just read it again. You shall refrain from initiating other unnecessary divisions and disputes with other members, which includes the assertion, I did read the assertion that the person you are supporting shouldn't be subjected to the registry, but others should. Remember, abolish the registry, nobody should. All right, let me go on to foundational associate member rule number 3. You shall conduct yourself in a reasonably respectful manner and honor all non-abusive agreements and contracts with other members and non-enemies. Last paragraph. Actually, I went a little longer than I wanted to, but okay, not too long. If you agree with our mission and these basic foundational rules, feel free to enroll and assist us in achieving our aim. So if you agree with the mission statement and if you agree with these foundational rules, right, go to the link in the description box below and propose yourself for enrollment, and let's get this going. It should be 2 forms, the links to 2 forms. One form is for self-respecters, those who are on the registry, convicted of crimes, and the other one is for the supporters. So get in where you fit in, click whichever one applies to you, and let's go. Thanks for viewing this video, and wait a minute, and if you like it, give this video a like. If you don't like it, hit the like button 2 times, just to be sure. So now I say, thanks for viewing this video, and enjoy your day.